Hello, everyone. Welcome to Biological Anthropology Laboratory, Anthropology 141L. This is the spring term of 2021, and I am the instructor for the course, Professor Mercer. However, no one calls me Professor Mercer. If you've watched the Getting Started video, it's just Mercer. And I've been involved in sports so much when I was a young person that I sort of lost my first name. Even my kids don't call me my first name or dad. It's just always Mercer, so it's sort of stuck with me. All right. So we're going to start getting going on the course today, and I'll tell you how to approach the material. The first thing let's do, let's have a quick look at the syllabus. So I'm going to shift over and open up the syllabus, so I hope you guys will do that too. We can sort of read along together and discuss it. Okay, well, the first thing to notice about the syllabus is that the information at the top is really very important, and that's my contact information. So that number right there you see is for voice. You can call me by phone or by text. That's 925-335-6298. I would place that in your contacts. That's primarily the best way to get a hold of me. Email's fine, and Canvas Messenger is fine. It's just I don't check them that often because I get barraged by a lot of administrative duties and emails everywhere. This college is famous for everyone just sending each other emails, hundreds at a time, and by the time you wade through everything and get to the students, you're 4 hours later. So if you use the text or use the voice, it's perfect. 9 to 5, solid. I always answer 9 to 5. After 5, yeah, up until I go to bed, whatever. You could try to get a hold of me. Depends on what I'm doing. If I have making dinner, I have kids stuff going on, I probably won't be able to get to you till later on. If you text me and said, hey, Mercer, I'm not getting off to work till 10 o'clock tonight. Can I call you after 10? Yeah. As long as you let me know you're going to call, it would be great. During these periods of the COVID and stuff, I'm not going to bed early. So, if it works for you to talk late at night, that's the time you have, it's fine with me. So my evening sort of routine about taking phone calls is the same thing for the weekends. If I'm available, and I don't mind to see your phone coming on, I go, I can't believe the student's calling me. No, I'm glad you're calling me. I just may have an activity going on. I can't take the phone call there, but I will get back to you later, and probably during the weekend sometime. All right. So next, another way to sort of hang out and talk with me and get some information about the course are doing my office hours. Here's the thing: is that the college did not build any Zoom lecture meetings in the description on this. So what I've done is normally I just have one office hour per week, like a 1 day for an hour. But now what I've done is expand it. It's going to be 2 office hours for 2 complete hours, which you can show up to or not. It's up to you. But really in these office hours, there's going to be like little mini lectures, many questions and answers talking about the material and the class. And that gives you a place to sort of have that contact time. And it's a place that's not required for you to have to be at too. So you can drop in, see what's going on. You can leave. So you're free to move back and forth. I'm not going to put one of those waiting rooms on, so you can flux in, flux out. And I think that's really the most effective use of your time and mine too. Okay. Now, if you need to get a hold of me by Zoom, say you want to show me some work or we can work together on stuff, yeah, just hit me up and tell me when you want to have like a Zoom call. I'll send you an invite. And we can spend as much time as you want. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour, whatever that you need. Just let me know. Okay. You can read through the rest of the syllabus here. There's a lot of stuff for you to get started on Canvas if you haven't utilized it before. We also have a pretty good Canvas help desk here. You can talk with, and if everybody else fails you, call me. I know this program pretty well by now, so I can help you get through it too. There's a problem. All right. So here's a course description. Here's the thing about course descriptions. I don't write these. Some administrator does. And I read it sometimes and I'm going, wow. Is that what this course is about? But in all seriousness, if this whole big spiel here is really administrators going out and trying not to be different from any other college. So they're just gathering, other, information, descriptions from other courses and all these other community colleges and kind of making an average. That's all they really do. So if it's up to me, which it really is, what is this course about? It's how are we here? Why are we here? Okay. And how are we here? Right? It's really about human origins and determining something about what are we evolved to do, right? Looking at the evolutionary history that we have and the emplacement which we have at this period on Earth, what is it that humans are designed to do, right? So we'll be looking from a biological sense, but because we're primarily cultural and behavioral beings, unlike most other animals on the planet, we're also going to be looking at human behavior too, because it is ultimately a reflection of the underlying supporting system, which is our own biology. So there's your course description. All right, texts. All right, so there's two. The Story of Earth. This one you'll need right off the bat. Story of Earth right here, cheap book, like 18 bucks, like brand new retail, probably get it for half that by Robert Hazen. The next one, Prehistoric Life. If you can get that within a month, you're in good shape. Look for it for a cheap deal. I think they wanted like 38 bucks for it in the bookstore. I think it's kind of expensive. You can find it used somewhere. Try it because there's only one edition of it. But that you'll be needing. Now, the next one below it, it's recommended but not essential. It's called Fossil Primates. I said prostate stuff. Fossil Primates by Susan Catcho. All right. Here's the thing. As I called the bookstore to see if it was in, and they told me what the price was, man, the price is super high on that book right now. No wonder it's Cambridge Press. I mean, I guess Cambridge Press is now the sole producer of this book, so it's outrageously expensive. Don't buy it. If you have it already, great. What I'm going to do is take some of the key information on it when we need it in the labs. I'm just going to photocopy it, turn it into PDFs, and have it up there for you. So even if you have the book already, try to turn it back for some money, okay? That's just way too much cash as far as I'm concerned for what's in there. And I'm going to give you that stuff anyway. Okay. All right, so the grading. Everyone's worried about the grading. 3 things you're graded on. The first is a large project, which we're going to start right off the bat, and which won't be due to the very end of the class. It's called an Earth History Timeline, a timeline of Earth's history. I'll explain that in the entire assignment of how to produce one with plenty of examples, and I'll work with you on that stuff. Just let you know it's 60 points. That's a lot of points, so you must do it. And please do well on it. You have the entire semester, and you can always show it to me, and I can always coach you what to do with it to get whatever grade that you want, but we're working on that. We have small lab assignments. So originally, there's an original video that I actually posted, and I replaced it with this one. So I had another introduction where I was going to ask you to buy the laboratory book, but no, we're not doing that. I had the laboratory book myself. I photocopied all the labs out of it, which we need. I turned them into PDF documents, and they're on the site ready to go. So it will save you that kind of money. Okay. Adds and drops. Before I go to adds and drops, mention something else. Quizzes. There are 4 of those. And they're in the syllabus, and we'll look at the dates so you have those sort of etched into your memory, so you know when they're coming and what to study for. There's 4 of those again. All of them are 30 points each, which really is 15 questions and 2 points per question. And generally, this comes out of the labs that you're actually doing. So if you do the labs, the questions in the labs will be generally a mimic of what you're going to see on the exams. And of course, if you don't do the labs, which means you're probably not going to do well in the quizzes because you're going to have no preparation for the question material. So that tells you, do the labs before you do the quizzes. All right. Adds and drops. Here's the thing you need to know. In the schedule, the actual master schedule for DBC, you can see when the add and drop dates are. One thing I want to remind you of is if you have to get out of a class, no matter if it's this class or another class, get out before the W's. Even though you can withdraw from a class without taking a GPA hit, the W sticks on your record. And if your plan is to go to a really competitive institution after this, it will figure into admittance. And they may not let you in if you have too many W's. So don't do that. Get out quick. All right. So you can read about our course policies here, but let's get down to the schedule. All right. This is what we're interested in. So I've blocked, compartmentalized the course into 4 modules. And at the end of each module is a module quiz. So the first quiz that we have coming up, as you can see, is February 22nd, right? So roughly a little bit less than a month. And what we're going to be doing is right there. Those are the essentially the 3 blocks of assignments that we have. So you can figure, spending, 9 to 10 days per block, right? I'd probably spend the first week on the first one, maybe 8 days in the second one, and a little bit longer on the third one. Okay, so maybe 30, maybe 25%, 35 to 40%, and then maybe 45% of your time on the very last one. Right? So we're going to be starting and get you going on the very first module in this video today. Right? So what we're going to do is go back. Let's go back to where we started on this page where this introduction is, and let's get back and have a look at what the first assignments are. Okay. So the very first assignments that you're going to be doing are viewing assignments. Okay. There's going to be no labs, which I hope you like. and they should be really interesting, hopefully. So the first film that you're going to be watching, there's a link to it right on this page here, is Human Universe. Why Are We Here? And this is a production by Brian Cox. I want you to watch the whole thing. You have to watch the very end because it really doesn't get good until the last 10 minutes, but you can't really understand the purpose of the last 10 minutes unless you watch the whole thing. Now, I've met Brian before 2 years ago. He came out for 2 lectures he gave. And what I did was I emailed him and asked him if I could have a quick lunch with him for him to talk about this film he produced. I told him why. He was very interested, so he gave me a half-hour lunch. I told him my concerns, something that I objected to, and he said I was absolutely right about my objection, but he wasn't going to discuss it in his film because he didn't think the world was ready for it yet. So I hit data is something very, very important. So what I've done is after you've watched the film, I produced a small little video myself down there. It's on a few words on why are we here. Watch that. Look at the words in which I have to say about it. And if you'd like to, come to the Zoom office hours next week. One of them, if you can make a Monday and Wednesday, great. And I'll discuss it more there. And I can discuss the questions about the film with you there too. All right. Next thing I want you to look at is a video by the author of your book. All right, here, that's Robert Hazen, right? So Robert M. Hazen, that's his film, Life's Rocky Start. That video is really the companion, the visual companion to this book. It can't replace this book because really there's more solid information you're going to need in this book to build your Earth Timeline project with. But Robert Hazen does a lot of other stuff. He really talks about the origin of life on Earth. He puts it into pictorial sort of movement, animated movement. I think it's just fascinating. So it's well worth watching that. And then lastly, the reading that I want you to do, and that's out of this book. So what we want to try to do within the first, I would say, by the 10th or so, it gives us 2 weeks or so, is read the first 100 pages. If you could put really, if you could put, 10 pages away a day, maybe 20 pages a day, 10 pages a day, actually for the first 100, 10 pages a day, you're set. Maybe spend, 20 minutes a day, looking at this or sitting down twice a week and putting an hour into it. And when you're reading this book, don't get caught in the technicalities. He can't help it. As much as he's trying to produce a consumer grade book for everyone to read, Hazen's a geochemist. He's a full-on geek. He's like me. I'm actually a chemist by training. I know what it's like to try to bring stuff down. It's very hard for us to do that. So he gets a little bit wrapped up in the chemistry here. Just blow it off. Anything that deals with any sort of stuff he's talking about, chemistry-wise, I will deal with later. I'll speak to you about it, bring it into very simple terms about what this stuff sort of means. Look for the big ideas in the book, right? And look for things in which would be perfect on a timeline, right? Okay, so I'm going to let you guys get going on that, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my office hours. Please do stop by or call or chat with me or do whatever you have to do so I can help you really stay with this course and enjoy it and do very well. All right, so now wrapping up almost 15 minutes into this video, and I don't want to get you get bogged down into too much watching sort of work. So I'm going to let you get going, get the books together. Again, any problems, get a hold of me. All right, thanks. Bye.